the kitchen sink, everyone.
Welcome to the kitchen sink.
And
again,
we're resurrecting this whole thing.
And we're back.
We're back.
I was late with that.
How long has it been, you guys?
oh God, what?
It's been like at least a week and a half.
At least a week and a half.
We've been telling the truth the whole time. It's just we haven't been broadcasting the truth.
Yeah. So,
Good to be back. We got Red with us.
Hello.
Hello. Red's in NYC.
Wait, can I hear him? Now I can hear him.
I don't know. Can you hear
buddy.
me?
There you are.
You can hear me?
I can hear
It's the
you.
Verizon Sweet Baby Jesus Titties.
Sweet baby Jesus. We have it all together. We're putting it on YouTube now.
Yeah, this is a show that used to be on a local AM station here in Redding, California, but that ended a couple years ago, and we did a couple things in between here and there,
Right.
A couple TV things and whatnot.
This is true.
Some internet TV and whatnot. And
Now we're back. We just
are
want
back.
to hit a wider audience. And I said wider audience.
right.
With a D.
With a D.
So I thought we would start with some introductions. A lot of people know me
That was a big-
as... Hello? Did you say
Sorry.
something? Red?
I just got excited by the D.
You got excited by what?
There will be technical difficulties. As we work them out, this is the internet, and we did give up net neutrality,
Yeah, we did.
so maybe they're on to us already.
I was just saying that I was getting excited about the big D, but please move on.
So why don't you go then, Doc Rock D?
Well, I am the Kelly to Rachel's Regis, if that's a thing. I am DJ Doc, in the place with the truth and nothing less. And we're going to do this and talk about anything and everything but the kitchen sink, unless we do a cooking segment.
It's possible.
Then everything will be broadcast from within the kitchen sink. Shout out to our listeners tonight. Stevie C, we see you. The whole crew, everybody that used to listen to us on the radio is catching up with us now on YouTube.
And it's it's our first show, so we are finding out like how this whole thing works. Truly, I am Rachel. I'm also Gearhead. I do a number of podcasts. I am a lifelong activist. I'm a radio host, and I really care about my communities. And I think that's why we're here. One of the reasons I wanted to resurrect this show was because I do a lot of really great podcasts with a lot of really great people, but I'm not able to cover a lot of our local issues, and I think that's really, really important to do. So I wanted to bring this back, and I'm really glad that you guys decided to take the jump with me. So
Well, that's right.
we
And we have Sean with us.
well, he
He's
has
fixing like the technical problems
he
right
is
now.
he's our tech. So Red, why don't you give us a little get down on who you are and what's going on?
Come on, Red.
I'm just a guy that likes to talk on the internet from time to time. I got nothing else to do except talk to you folks, you lovely people all across the world that have nothing to do but listen to lonely folks like me. So here I am.
Also a drum god. You didn't bring up the part of that you're the drum god of the band. Is it a
I like
drum
playing
god?
drums. I like drums. I'm setting up a new set of drums right now in New York, and they're freaking amazing. They're looking great, and they're sounding great. I had to buy some new gear. I took them all apart, put them all back together again, and these little drums that came, like they look like they were nothing, are gonna sound like they're everything.
Making
Amazing.
chicken salad out of
Amazing.
chicken stuff.
Raw chicken?
Yeah, raw
Yes.
chicken. I tried to clean that up before I said it.
Sorry, guys. Here's the thing. I get off work so late that I just ran in here, and I'm trying to share the show out as well. So if you are listening and you can share the show out, that would be fantastic of you. I would appreciate that very much. especially because it's our first show, and we hope to grow this, and we will hope to eventually add video with a set and everything, but we po folk.
That's
know.
right. We start small, we get big.
Exactly.
And we're going to cover everything. Everything.
Everything in the kitchen sink.
And pretty much fix everything. So by the end of the broadcast, optimism will reign.
Why can't we? Why can't we all have our own individual cameras and just having them all have everybody look at all of us individually?
That
Is
would be
that not
great.
possible?
We will work on that on the outset of this.
We can
thing.
totally do that. Yes.
Yeah, we'll figure all that out.
Well, and it would benefit the audience. With this many pretty mugs in one show, you know what I mean?
Right?
Might intimidate them though.
We're ready. We're camera ready.
We don't just have faces for radio, you know.
Right. That's not a thing with this group. I mean, it is, but it isn't.
So now Bad gets to go ahead and introduce himself.
I'm here. I am Batted Up, also known as Batted Up. But Doc already spilled the beans, so hi, I'm Sean.
I did that again on
You
another
did it
show.
again. I heard you and I was in there.
Listen, before we started, I said, "Are we us?"
But hey, to be fair, the kitchen sink has always been with me.
Yeah, it
Right,
has.
Right.
But there's also a large group of people who know us from our other podcast on and on UK Radio, and we are Gear and Bad, so there's that. You know?
Right. Well, I
Gear
feel
and
like
Bad.
I'm gonna be gifted a "Stop Snitching" T-shirt from my cohorts.
Quit
You know what happens to
doxing me,
snitches,
bro.
right?
Damn.
But yeah, I'm here. I've been an activist for fuck all as long as I can remember. I work for the evil empire known as I'm not gonna say their name here because I don't want to get in trouble. But they're a giant media
Conglomerate.
We'll say conglomerate. Yeah,
Yeah, and
they own just under half of the TVs in the
America?
USA, and they're looking at getting more with the FCC being stacked the way it is. But yeah, that's a different topic. I'm just full disclosure. I already work for the media. So does Gear.
I already said that I'm a radio host. I've been a professional radio host for, lordy, like 15 years now. It's been a while. I do rock radio mostly and talk, which is my preferred thing, but I'm too radical really to get into.
You're way rad. First off, you're way rad.
Oh, sorry.
Legitimate.
I thought that we were.
No, we're good.
Never mind. I'm very nervous that things are gonna go wrong because I'm good at that. So
YouTube is telling us our video output is low, but there's just a fucking still picture up there. Way to go, YouTube.
yeah, okay, we know because we're not fucking. Okay, anyway,
Anyway,
what was I saying? Good God,
it's gonna be like that. It's just
Yeah.
gonna be like that.
it's anyway.
Oh, there's that. Okay.
So we may suffer from net neutrality. The more logic we give the people and share, our show is going to slow down. That's going to happen. Is that true?
Well,
Or is it a great thing like other people say, and they say that it's going to, put it back in the hands of businesses to compete against each other and give us lower rates? I mean, is that really a thing?
No, they're gonna compete. They're gonna compete against each other, and they're gonna give us higher rates.
Right,
What's
that's
gonna
what I'm
fucking
thinking.
happen.
so why don't we go ahead and jump into it then? Because net neutrality, the whole thing was just today. The vote, it passed 3-2 from the FCC board, or is it a board? Is that what they do?
I think so.
Commission.
Commission. They
Yeah.
are the Federal Communications Commission.
Right. So then I heard Ajit Pai do his big schmeely speech about how the Obama-era regulations were really limiting the mom-and-pop corporations on the internet.
Fuck that guy. Sorry. Excuse me.
This is what he said. I'm just reporting the news. He's saying that these regulations that have been rolled back will now allow more of a free market, and I feel like that's the Republican response. And don't get me wrong, I'm neither a D or an R. I feel like that's the Republicans' response to everything.
Okay. If
We're
it-
gonna create jobs.
If it's gonna help commerce, then I want to be able to get another fucking phone provider where I live. Right now, We live in what's
I
called.
want to get a phone provider that can actually get up-to-date service that isn't below like third world countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's third world countries that have better internet access than we do, living in freaking happy or wherever the fuck we live.
TDS
Happy
land.
freaking
We live in TDS
yeah,
land.
TDS, and it's shitty.
It
So
is.
why the hell are we're spending more money for the lowest internet rate and phone rate or whatever long distance charges than anybody else in the country? We're getting the most shittiest service. It doesn't make any sense.
And also,
When-
another deal with that is they don't upgrade their lines, dude. They're too busy fixing shit. You
And
know?
I think TDS is a perfect example for this whole net neutrality thing, honestly, because if you don't know what this company is, we live in a really rural community. They will not lease the lines to anybody else, including AT&T.
Yep.
They have a monopoly on our area,
All, like, pretty much, like, rural areas around the country.
and they're not based
real
anywhere
TDS
near
is
us.
the biggest
Minnesota.
Sorry, Red. Go
company.
ahead.
TDS is one of the biggest phone companies in the world. They're, I mean, bigger than Verizon, bigger than AT&T. They're one of the largest companies, and you never hear of them, but they're one of those monopoly companies that own a lot of other smaller companies underneath them.
Yeah.
And TDS is just larger corporate,
like the
whatever
umbrella.
name. Yeah.
Yeah, and they since I work for media and I deal with a lot of media type places in the area that I live in, I actually tried to get myself wireless internet and phone service from a local company, and they told me they could not provide phone service because I was in quote TDS land, unquote. Like
Yep.
they will not fucking give
Yep.
up.
So,
Like,
like-
I couldn't even get wireless internet phone from these motherfuckers
Right.
because I'm in TDS land. It's like has nothing to do with your motherfucking lines, dude.
Right, and this is their agreement that they all have
Yeah.
together, where we're not gonna compete with each other.
Yeah, right.
You
No,
have that
no, no, no.
area, I get this area.
Yeah.
You get rich, I get rich.
And it's all fucking like backdoor
You know,
underhanded bullshit.
it's like old wrestling federations where they wouldn't compete. You're like, we're down in Tennessee. You don't bring
You
that
think-
Texas
what do
wrestling
you
company
think's gonna
down
happen
here.
to
Boy,
that?
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
Net neutrality actually goes into place, and all these companies get rights to certain access, and then we have to pay for that access. It's going to limit our availability to information, and it's going to create more profit for them because we're going to have to pay for that information.
That's so true.
If
Yes,
we want-
if you're seeking
yeah.
the truth, it's going to cost you more. If you're watching something inappropriate and dumbing yourself down, that's probably going to be next to free. Right?
Exactly. Like, I bet
Yeah.
you The Bachelor and America's Most
And Breitbart will
Wanted
be
and
free for
Right,
everybody.
there's like a hub thing. It's a
Drudge
something
Report.
hub. I
yeah,
can't
yeah,
remember.
Alex Jones shit.
Pornhub, dude.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I'm just not familiar.
What did they just pay for? They just paid for. They just paid for like plowing of snow plowing of somewhere. I don't remember.
New York City or something?
No, it was like Baltimore or some fucking weird place. But they just paid for some service to clean up some city that just got fucked over by some kind of weather. I don't know.
Pornhub?
Yeah, Pornhub.
They do
Fucking
better.
Pornhub.
They do better after disasters than Trump. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, man.
They don't
Wow.
throw paper towels
Oh,
at
they do.
starting.
Oh my god! I just couldn't believe no one threw
Hey,
the
Ray.
towels back.
What was that, Red?
Hey, Ray,
Oh,
it's
hey!
Michelle.
Hi,
Michelle,
Michelle.
woo!
Michelle.
Hi, I'd love to talk about net neutrality because I'm angry as fuck, but I've got to get up early. So, cheers, have fun.
Well, give it
It's
to
nice
us right
hear your
now, real
voice.
quick.
Give us your take.
Oh man,
Go! Come on, give it to us.
Michelle only opened her mouth wide enough to switch her feet.
It's great to hear from you.
No, it sucks. It just fucking sucks. It's all a monopoly. It's all crazy. It's even more than a monopoly. Each one of them are separate monopolies, and now they're all going to charge us.
Well,
I think
hey,
it's crazy.
okay. Here's a question. Hopefully, you can answer
But-
real quick. How is this going to affect HBO streaming services? Do you know?
Well, I'm working for HBO right now. I probably can't say a word, but yeah.
No, I'm just asking you what you think might happen.
I don't know. I mean, my worst thoughts are that everything is going to get more expensive.
Yeah.
I don't see things getting cheaper in any way, especially with the kind of government and politics that we've got going on right now. They're all a bunch of greedy motherfuckers, and it's just going to get worse. I don't see how it wouldn't serve any of them to help us out by making anything cheaper. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. I love you, Rach.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Night.
Night.
So nobody believes that there's any truth to the, give it back to the companies.
And
they're
helping the mom
they'll
and pops.
compete against each other.
Yeah.
Well, and the funny thing is, we're the mom and pops, so we're gonna find out.
So wait, what I
Are
want
they
to
gonna
know...
take care of us? Our new YouTube channel?
Yeah,
Is it gonna be just popping every time, or are they gonna slow us down
It
because
is
we're
YouTube.
rebels?
It is YouTube, and Google is totally not for this.
Uh-huh.
And neither is
Netflix
Apple.
is not for this. Apple, Amazon, all the fucking big dudes are like, "Fuck you, dude."
And
Right.
I think they're suing on top of it for and that's not, I haven't verified that, but I've heard rumors around the campfire that they're suing. Just like I've heard people now. Red was saying that he thought there was a possibility that this had to pass through Congress. I've heard senators saying this should be addressed by Congress. It shouldn't be decided by 5 people on the FCC board.
Oh my God, the chair is 5 people.
It's 5 people.
5 people, and I heard, and this is bad, but 75% of
I
even
don't think
Republicans. Even Republicans, and I don't know why I'm saying even, because that sounds like
Because they also have
but there were,
grandkids.
yes. So it's like, man, it seems like we have a lot more people kind of united on a topic out of nowhere, right, in the current landscape, and we can't get it done? We can't stop 5 people?
You have to look for guns on the NRA freaking website. When they start getting charged extra for their NRA freaking guns, if they want to look at a Luger, because it's German compared to a Smith & Wesson, which is American made, they might have to get charged a little bit more, and then they're going to feel bad because that's un-American.
Oh my.
Okay, what I want to know about this FCC thing is oh fuck, I lost it. Oh man,
Something very
something very important. Yes,
Right, the most
exactly.
important question about the whole FCC thing, we want to get to the bottom of what's driving it right now. What would you say is driving or has driven the successful push to draw
to kill
back?
net neutrality?
Yeah.
Oh, Ajit Pai being a fucking selfish bastard. That's what it is. He came from Verizon.
Okay.
Verizon is a huge ass company. I'm sure they've lobbied for many, many things with lots of money.
Lots of
And he came from Verizon. He's got a sweet fucking cushy job when he leaves the FCC. Whoever knows when the fuck that's gonna be. But I don't know what it's gonna take to undo all this, you guys. All 2 of you listening.
So you're saying that this is not like we can't, because I know like they were asking for them to wait on their vote today. They thought Republicans were asking that they wait on the vote, but the vote went through. It's a done deal today. Like, what are the steps to go repeal that back to the repealed status that it was at?
I don't know, but
Like, what do we have to wait for a whole new president
I don't know, but I'm also worried that
or an all new
they're
FCC?
they're not treating the internet like a normal telecommunications infrastructure.
Right.
In that phone lines are still regulated and always have been and probably always will be, and nobody
Yeah.
seems to have a problem with that. With
much
that,
information.
there was
I got long distance. I got a big problem with long distance calls on phone lines with regular house phones. Freaking landlines. Nobody should be have to pay long distance charges on landlines. Those
Not anymore.
lines have been established and been there for too many years. There's no reason anybody should be paying long distance charges
Agreed.
anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody charges for long distance charges on cell phones. It doesn't make any sense on a freaking landline.
Well, I love how they're
Oh.
reintroducing landlines. The cable companies are like, bundle with a landline. It's called a landline. And what it is
it's not really a landline,
right.
though. It's still VoIP. And
Right.
you still get free fucking long
Right.
distance. Maybe that's what TDS is doing, dude. They're fucking cashing out on the long distance as long and hard as they can.
Ah,
All
know?
of them are.
Yeah.
All of them are.
They're playing
all
the long
of those,
game.
yeah, like all of those old school
Everybody's got a fucking cell phone, dude.
Communication
Right.
places are,
That source of revenue is drying up quick, you know.
and that's
Get
why.
this. I was
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was trying to turn off my phone the other day through TDS, and they wouldn't let me turn off my phone. I said I was going to be out of town for a couple months. I want to turn off my internet access, and I want to turn off my phone if I could. And they're like, oh, let me talk to my manager.
What?
And she came back and said, we can turn off your internet access, but we're not going to be able to turn off your phone. We have to keep your phone service going. And she could not give me a good answer why. Like, what is the reason I have to keep this phone? That's just what my manager said.
That's just so they can rape you while you're gone. And thank you, we did notice that your internet is gone last time we were over there, by the way.
Trying to do some goddamn work.
But no, that's the
Sorry.
thing.
Sorry.
See, no, at that point you should have canceled it outright. Just been fucking done with it.
He did.
And then
No,
hook it back
I
up,
won't-
you know, when you got back.
It costs so much more money if I want to hook it back up from the start. If I just put it on a hold,
Oh.
it doesn't cost me any money. They wouldn't freaking They wouldn't put my phone access on a hold, which is crazy.
That is kind of weird.
They're like, nope, you gotta have the phone on.
Since they didn't
You gotta
do
pay
away
at
with the
least
Lifeline thing.
$40.
Yeah, they did. Oh fuck, sorry.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen to all the free services like Facebook? Sorry, I got up out of bed. What's going to happen with all the free services like Facebook that's not compensated, which they are. They're being so compensated by advertisements. But like WhatsApp, things like that, free phone for WhatsApp and Messenger. What's going to happen with all that within net neutrality issues?
Gonna be throttled to be unusable. I mean, that's what's gonna happen. You can pay to have your VoIP protocol going through.
Tell her.
You can-
You know what a VoIP is, right?
A what? Say that again?
A VoIP, voice.
VoIP is voice over internet protocol. That's how all these things generally work. As a phone, you know, over the internet. But I mean, they're just gonna throttle all these protocols first all. So you have to pay for, you know, VoIP service. You probably have to pay more for like FTP service if you just want to fucking download something from somewhere. It's gonna get stupid.
and people are gonna have myself included, are gonna have no idea who to call about it, right? Because you'll have how many different numbers you're gonna have. The guy throttling it down, the people you're paying, the people who are paying, the people you're paying. I mean, what are you gonna do? Call the advertisers and be like, and petition them to get?
Yeah.
Because
and-
you'll never know where that throttling's coming from. It's just
Yeah, and is there going to be like a cap for prices on these services? I don't know if that was a part of it, but
it's going to be directly
Fucking
related to if you're looking up things that dumb you down and numb your mind. There's going to be a gray area for you. You're going to have some pretty decent pricing. But any attempt to learn things, like here's the thing, is the first thing now going to be free is all educational things online? Is that going to be cheaper, easier access, less throttled down?
Like
things
the
that are
Library of
educational?
Congress or the
No.
archives of
And
that
they're
kind
going
of
to
stuff.
pinch that down just as much as your favorite music website.
and those are all fucking text websites. They're fucking flat
Right.
web pages,
So-
dude. They're
so
going to take
education-
forever to load.
Education isn't important then.
Yeah.
Well, we see that with DeVos.
And I have to tell you guys that I have 4 children, and so does Bad, and you have children as
Yes,
well.
ma'am.
And our kids use the internet to go to school. It's impossible in this day and age to not have the internet
Yes.
to do homework.
Yes. Well, you're talking to people that know. We have kids in school right now that about 3/4 of their assigned homework is dependent on internet
Yeah, no shit.
every night.
Sorry, Red, were you trying to say something?
No. Michelle was actually just asking me, who's the one leading this conversation? Who's like, what are we doing about this situation? How do we fix this? why, like, who is the one that, between all of us, that has the answers for this? And I told her, none of us do. None of us know what to do about this because it's like the blind leading the blind. And we're all just wondering how this is going to get better because,
Well, that's why we're talking it out. We're having a rap session. We're talking it out.
We're talking it out because
has anybody read, like, the contracts or whatever you want to call them for that against this net neutrality? Like, who has access to any of the answers or exactly what's going to go down? Does anybody have access publicly?
It should be available on the FCC website. I've read some stuff, and I've seen their explanation by Ajit Pai, who is the head of the FCC. He's the chair of the FCC. So.
Oh, good. So you've read. Okay.
So in this case, like, he's the guy who was put in by Trump because he was definitely going to do this. Because we, as internet activists and on-the-ground activists, defeated two other bills, CISPA and what was the other one? SOPA. SOPA was first, and it was the slow as fuck internet bill. I don't remember what it stood for. There were two bills, and they were really fought hard by the whole world, in fact. And the whole world did the exact same thing when it came to this bill. They just, in this administration, are not listening to the people. That's the difference, I think. And Obama was not a perfect president. By any means. He did a lot of terrible things. But he at least had the good sense.
Perfect president.
There is no perfect president. But he at least had the sense, his administration at least had the sense to know when a bill was incredibly unpopular and to not try to kill their party by passing unpopular bills. My 2 cents there.
There is no perfect president, and there never will be, because they have to join a party and subscribe to the party's 10 inherent beliefs.
We need like a fucking rogue or like a plant or some kind of
Bernie would have won.
Bernie.
some kind of undercover bullshit. Yeah, right.
It's basically trying to regulate free speech.
Well, that's what they've always been doing, and you saw that, and this is completely off topic, with the J20 protests, which were the Inauguration Day protests, where they were trying to jail people for 99 years for going to Washington, D.C. and protesting and breaking 4 or 5 windows. That's like community service and paying for the fucking window.
Yeah.
You know? That's not 99 years in jail. This is, I mean, we're becoming even more of a fascist nation right in front of our eyes. And even, I see a lot of people, and I know that Michelle does, and I know that Red does, and Doc, and Bad, all of us see a lot of people speaking out against this every single day, interacting with people who are of a different ideology, trying to understand them, trying to get some common ground. And it just seems like the more and more we reach out to people, the more they cling to fake news and liberals are controlling your mind, which I don't even understand what that means, you know, like.
Right.
Like, here's an example. I live in a small town. There's some squatters down the way. Somebody blamed the goddamn Democrats on the squatters.
What?
Obamacare.
What?
It's a legal loophole. Loophole. How is that related?
What?
But it's easy. It's easier, man. That makes it a two-side argument, everything for them. They can wrap everything in 2 packages.
Doc, you are right.
And they don't like the other package, you know? So that's where they're standing. And
No, there's no fucking
and we all know Art of War, divide and conquer.
Absolutely.
That's why the concept of a 2-party system is like they took our ideology out of the Art of War. It's like, well, that's the first way to split these turkeys.
And they've been doing it since time immemorial.
Right.
You know, they've been doing it with the Catholics and the Protestants, you know, since goddamn for whenever, way back in the, you know, in Europe, way back. They've been doing it with black and white and red and yellow, and you know, you are a blonde, so I can't like you because I'm a brunette. You know, I mean, it's just even down to those minute details. They really do drive home those divisions, let alone just being a person of color or a white person or whatever. They drive home those divisions. Like, you're a fat woman, or you're a skinny man, or, you know, these kinds of things where you're constantly being divided into group after group after group.
Right.
I mean, you're.
I'm in the group of me. Just,
I know you
well,
are.
and we all in our grouping, our friendship circle that we are ever expanding, are a group of those individuals who stick to who we are.
Yeah.
And gracefully interact with the beautiful people that the others in the room are.
That's the thing.
And feel free to speak your native tongue. Whoever you are, speak it to us. We'll never have a problem with it.
I have a correction.
Oscar.
By the way, I have a correction.
This is a correction.
This is a correction.
Courtesy of the kitchen sink.
Courtesy of People's United Radio, in fact. Ajit Pai was put in by Mr. Barack Obama.
Oh.
I am so sorry.
Barack!
Was he?
That is what our chat.
Well, we're
just
open to
said.
correction, and we will look into it.
Dude, I get stuff wrong all the time. Trust me on this one, you guys. Seriously.
Well, we will never trump you with that. We will never hit you with Trump. If we're wrong, we'll correct it and move on in the conversation and keep going.
Absolutely. And that's something that...
Say it, yeah.
What?
Speak on it, Red.
Say it and say it.
Say it and say it
Say it
loud.
loud. Yeah.
I'm tribe and I'm proud.
We tribe and
Say
we're
it
proud.
I'm
So-
tribe and I'm proud.
I wanted to also touch on, I know net neutrality is huge, and I don't know the answers now, but I know that we're going to keep addressing this, you guys, right? Obviously, this is a big deal for us.
As things occur, I mean, there's not a whole lot we can do right now.
So we just got to, like, figure out what the next step of the fight is, and we'll keep you updated as to what we find out. And if you find stuff out, feel free to, like, post it below in the comments, you know, underneath this video. I want to touch on the Alabama Senate race because it is incredibly historic. There has not been a Democratic senator in that seat since 1992, I believe.
The fucking unity we need. Yes, 92.
Well,
You're
the
right.
crazy thing about it is we know it was 97 to 98% black women voters or black voters in Alabama. But what some of us don't realize is the middle of Alabama that is constantly voting Democratic.
Wait.
The middle of it is called the what belt?
The black belt.
A butt.
But it's
called
for it's for what?
For the rich soil.
the rich dark soil.
Baby, right?
And also a
I thought
high
it was
Democratic turnout of our
African-American
black
friends.
folks, man.
Our black
and
friends.
they did it and they won it. And by the way, on that point, let's not let the Democrats take any credit for what the people did.
Yeah.
Because it's power to the people.
Absolutely not. The DNC needs to go hang its goddamn head in shame for what they did in the 2016 election and what they continue to do to the American people and what they have done. You know what? Remind yourselves what the Democrats did in the 90s when Hillary Clinton labeled black men super predators. Okay?
Ooh.
That is why she lost the election, because we don't forget things like that. The crime bill, the welfare reform, that negatively affected so many black lives and so many people of color and poor white people as well. It affected the poor disproportionately, but black folks most of all. You know, Native people as well.
Not to get off topic, but has anybody been able to figure out the difference between a bipod try and a three-legged hi-hat stand? Does anybody know if like a two-legged hi-hat stand is like actually really stable, or if I should just, you know, if you should just stick with a three-legged tripod stand for a hi-hat?
This is our
I'm just
drummer.
asking
This is a drum-related question, folks. If you have an answer.
How are you gonna stand up your fucking hi-hat stand if you don't have a third leg?
Right?
Eric, you make me want to drink.
Don't talk about the pedal, cause you take your foot off that pedal to fucking double bass, man.
And don't lie about double bassing ever.
Do you have a lighter thing? Oh.
They make these two-legged pedals now, and they look awesome. And
That's
I want to
stupid.
try
No,
it.
it's a gimmick.
Two-legged pedal.
It's a gimmick. It doesn't. That doesn't make sense.
You're just gonna rotate your seat over and just start playing the hi-hat for the night.
It's like a monopod.
sorry.
You gotta hold it up with something,
what the-
and that something else is your fucking
They've
foot.
been
Okay,
making them for a long time.
That's fucking stupid. Sorry.
you are always our color commentator, and I love you. But back to the Alabama Senate race. One of the things I found the most shocking was that the liberal media on MSNBC
Okay.
was really angry at Roy Moore about the way he rode his horse.
Well, so many people said, you and the horse you rode.
Well,
in on.
yeah, I mean, I
But the
understand.
horse was named Sassy.
Sassy!
Do you know what Sassy is? Sassy is the name of a teen girl magazine.
Yes, it is. Which I found very ironic.
And he's
the
like,
nickname
look,
of a
I'm gonna
murdered
go.
journalist.
Look, I'm gonna go to the poll. I'm gonna go vote for myself today. What mode of transportation can I take the teen girls would like the most?
Sassy.
Horsies.
Horses.
They love
Oh
horses.
my god, I want a pony.
This guy.
Oh my god. So apparently there were
I
a
wanna-
couple.
Okay.
What?
How
What?
does this guy know what the name of the magazine is? Why does Doc know the name of the magazine?
You know what? I actually stole that from Stephen Colbert.
I was gonna say because he has a subscription, he's got to have his
Yeah.
long, lovely locks taken care of, man.
Right.
You need to know what
There's
kind
hair-
of eyebrows are in this season, dude.
Exactly. Like, I need to know if I need to pluck these things. I need to know the in haircut.
Right.
And that's just all it's about for me.
Serious stuff here, people. So I thought that was interesting because I'm not an equestrian in any way. You
Right.
know, my people didn't ride horses. We had more sense in that.
Well, but
Sorry.
look, it's like they're so far to fall if you're on a horse.
Dude, come on. You know,
And they're
I,
so smart, you're like,
you up.
this guy doesn't want me on him.
yeah, I can
Let's
get
walk
down.
together.
We look at each other in the eye, and I'm
Right.
like, "Hey, bro, how's it going?
They
Here's
seem
some
so
grass.
smart.
Here's a
They're so
carrot,
beautiful.
sugar cube. You know, high five,
Right.
but don't really because you know,
Right. Don't hoof me.
don't hoof me." Anyway, so what I wanted to say about this whole thing is that it's very historic that Doug Jones won. It will not last. There will
Right.
definitely be a Republican in that Senate seat in the near future. But black women, hallelujah, came out in droves because when you say something like, the last time America really was great was when
Oh.
we had slavery
Right,
because
right.
families were closer
Even though we
together
had
then.
slavery, yeah, that's just the most ridiculous statement in history.
Totally was Obama. God damn it.
I retracted my statement, ND,
Well,
in the
you know,
chat. Thank you, darling.
As
My bad.
As the black women voters turned out and made their power and their presence felt, the most powerful black woman in the United States was basically leaving her post in the White House. That would be Omarosa.
Oh, don't let the door hit
right.
you in the ass on the way
Now-
out.
now, by
That's
the
like
way,
a
out of
vile
Service
woman.
punch
Out of
you in the-
30 staff members now, right? His staff that talks to him, has access to him. It's over 30 people, and there's no black folks in it, except for Ben Carson. Ben Carson is the only official in the cabinet
That
of
dude is
any
not
kind,
black, I'm
and
sorry.
he doesn't even know any black people, bless his
He-
heart.
he-
Okay, and he doesn't even work with Trump. He's not even in the same
He's
location.
a white dude.
So how are we
I
going to
know
get...
white dudes that are blacker than Ben Carson.
Okay,
You
all
can't
right.
say shit like that.
Bad can say that.
I do.
Bad
though.
can say that.
I do though.
He's done sound for Vanilla Ice before. He
That's
can
true.
say that.
Shit, come on.
What I was going to
I
say...
was feeling anger at Red for calling me out on Sassy, and I shouldn't have struck at you. Well, but I mean, there's horrible news. What about the Kentucky senator?
That was really interesting. You know, the Me Too movement has been also not only named Times Person of the Year collectively, like Occupy was named Times Person of the Year. So I feel like I've been named. I mean, I wasn't at Occupy, but it's definitely like sideline support
Right.
for Occupy. So I feel like I've been kind of Person of the Year a couple times, along with
At least twice.
hundreds of other people, because the Me Too movement actually, and a couple of you don't know this, it spurned me to share a story that I haven't been able to share with somebody I very much respect in the music industry, who is a good friend of mine who works with a very notable band who was working with the same guy who sexually assaulted me. I brought it up to her.
Wait. That's not the story about me. Never mind.
No. No, I brought this up to my friend, and I had a hard time doing it. It was, it was really weird, because what I learned from the Me Too movement was that a lot of what happened to me was actually sexual assault. I considered it like I got him off me, I didn't get raped, so I'm okay, right? Mm-hmm. Not so much. So I opened myself up to her. She said, "You are like the 5th person who has said something like this to me." And she asked me if I would like to participate in a class action lawsuit against this man in order to take him down and make sure that this son of a bitch doesn't do what he did to me to anybody else. So I feel very empowered, and it's really great to see that Black women came out, because I know that a lot of those women have stories that are so much more horrific than mine. And I think it was a visceral reaction to not only Trump being in power and the daily offense that is to a sexual assault survivor, but then to think about our baby girls being molested by a dirty old man who says he's a Christian. Right. And I know Black women, a lot of Black women who are Christians, who are true Christians, and I'm not a person of faith, but they believe it. I have the utmost respect for that. They live that life. And when somebody pretends to be a Christian and then molests a young woman, they haven't, so many of the Black women I know have no time for that shit. So they're looking out for not only themselves, but for their baby girls and for the baby girls of Alabama. And fuck yes, you guys. That was a win for this country.
Well, and now the Kentucky senator that was accused of sexual assault, he killed himself.
Yeah.
But, in the light of that, people don't recognize that the Oklahoma senator was caught in a hotel. A married man was caught with a 17-year-old boy in a hotel and charged with sex trafficking. And
drug possession.
Right. And they're and you can look at the footage. It was even on HLN. It's all over.
Oh yeah, the cops had their body cam footage.
They didn't even know he was the senator.
They had no idea. His name
was
Shorty?
Shorty, yeah. Ron Shorty or Roy Shorty.
Wait. So the Senate is down another Republican? Is that
yes.
what you're telling me? So we're 49-49 right now? Is that
no, he hasn't done it. I believe he bailed out and is going to fight it. I don't get it.
Shorty is.
Wait, so whoever killed himself?
And the sex trafficking is because.
No, I'm getting morbid for a sec.
The Kentucky
senator that killed himself. He's dead, right?
Yes, he's gone.
He was in the Senate.
Red wants to say something.
So we're even in the Senate.
Red wants to say something.
Go, Red.
If you could get 1 ply, or if you could get 2 ply drum heads, would you get like 5mm or 7mm?
You are inappropriate right now.
What are you wiping with them?
7mm. They're tighter.
Jesus.
7mm?
Yeah.
Double ply?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is not only a current event show and talking about it. This is also for the musicians out there. We're trying to dial in equipment at all times. If you have any questions or any suggestions, please hit us up here at The Kitchen Sink on YouTube. Thursday nights at 8 p.m.
Or you can find us on Facebook at Eddie and the Whistleblowers.
Hey.
Great band.
I've heard they do some good things.
Great band.
Those guys are fast.
So, it just seems to me like there's a great disparity between what happens in Hollywood with sexual predators and sexual assaulters and what happens in politics with sexual predators and sexual assaulters. And one of the things I find most offensive is the fact that we, as taxpayers, have spent somewhere around $15 million of taxpayers' money to pay out sexual assault claims that happened in Congress. And that's something that, you know what, to coin Donald Trump's phrase, not a lot of people know this, but...
Right, and it comes out of our tax dollars, but with no accounting. There's no press release on, hey, today we spent a lot of your money because we hire pervs.
Yeah, what's the fund for that? I mean, we have funds for like beautification.
What's the standard
shit.
though? What's the standard? The president is at 16 or 19 different women who all, if you look at their pictures, present what is called an MO, a modus operandi, a focus on a certain type of target. You know, Trump is on top of all these pervs.
Hey.
And I think that this Me Too movement is, like I just said, it's a direct result of him being in power, because it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, enough is enough.
Right.
Like, we've had it. This has been happening to us since men and women have been around, first of all. And in this day and age where we are becoming more and more socially aware of how to treat other human beings with respect and dignity, it's time for this to really be brought out on the table. And I think the Me Too movement shocked and surprised a lot of people, because every person on Facebook that I saw, not just women, men as well, had Me Too. Look at Terry Crews. The biggest, baddest motherfucker in the world was sexually assaulted by some creepy dude.
In front of his wife. And just knowing this guy's not going to do anything or I can blackball him. He won't get another job.
Ever.
And yeah, there was no wordplay there. I saw that look bad.
Yeah,
I saw that look bad.
Yeah, hold on,
but
man.
this homosexual producer-director is playing him close and actually touched him inappropriately in front of his wife, and what we call punked him. Straight up punked him.
Right.
Knowing the only thing he knew was this guy's not going to say anything or do anything because he'd like to feed his kids. Right? And he's a family man, and I'm just going to play this card because I'm drunk and over the top.
And have a bit of power over the guy for a sec.
It's out of control.
And, you know, there's always that paradigm where there's another human being who might be threatened by someone's looks or race or what have you, and want to assert dominance over them because they're insecure human beings and just horrible.
Trump! I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Excuse
absolutely. And that's what we're seeing, the devolution
we're putting the worst
current president.
It's like as though the administration wants to lower the standards so they can get away with more.
Yeah.
So they put at the top of everything, Trump, the worst person possible. Trump's at the top of that. Betsy DeVos is at the top of that. Who, by the way, is the sister of the head and founder of Blackwater.
Eric Prince.
So what we're seeking here is a school curriculum
It's on the wall.
that teaches the end game. It's warfare curriculum.
Ooh.
Betsy DeVos
Nasty.
and Prince are sitting over the dinner table discussing, well, how can I get children more in tune with war?
Right.
You know, because Blackwater is many of the contractors,
it's a
the
mercenary...
military contact. Yeah. Not to mention what they had to do with the pipeline. You know, we're not going to get into that.
Well, that was, Tiger Swan. They changed their name.
You're right. They changed their name. Was it 3 days or 3 weeks before
they changed their
spill?
name? But the other part,
because they already knew it happened.
Right.
Yeah. Whatever.
Red.
I said I love Tiger Woods and Fire Swans.
Tiger Woods is back.
What?
He's playing
back.
golf with Trump.
What?
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's been playing golf with Trump. Y'all. Tiger Woods is back because sexual predators hang out together.
Yeah,
but
we already went through that, golf club in the window of the car. What the fuck, really?
What, Red?
Fire Swans. Fire Swans, come on.